Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to Zero Time Dilemma. What is it? No, Zero Escape, Virtue's Last Reward is this game, the sequel to 999. We're in a weird position because we're at the end of this path, and it was just going really, really long as far as novel. But we went through these white doors, but it seemingly seems like only Sigma and Phi made it through the white doors in this timeline. And I don't know if that really means we're going to go through an escape room. I don't know if that really means we're going to get a golden envelope. I don't know if it means anything because at the end of the day, we're going to, if this logically would happen and somebody isn't just going to murder us outright, we would get the star key and we would be able to, in this round, potentially betray Luna, who we believe is dead. No, we know is dead. We've seen her dead. To get some points, but then we'd have to go through another round, and almost certainly in that round, it's going to be Phi versus Sigma at that point. Otherwise, it would be very easy for us to be paired together or paired against other people who are also seemingly also dead. So this, if this is the a good outcome somehow that we found where Sigma and Phi escape and everybody else dies, that would be really weird. Um, we went through the white door because K punched us in the stomach and forced us through, but there was no indication he was going to do the same for himself and Dio. Wasn't sure how much time passed before Phi finally stood up. I feel like we're just going to find the star keys, and that's it. I don't even know if there's really a time limit in the escape rooms per se. Like it feels like you probably could do the escape rooms if you have no competitions at your leisure, and you won't trigger any AB games until you've done the escape room. That was it. She turned and headed for the hallway, feet dragging as if she was carrying something heavy. It was a moment or two before I followed. Um, the fact that Kay was capable of punching Phi in the stomach and knocking her down in a very anime ninja way does imply, if she is a robot, that she's not designed to be a particularly strong robot compared to K with all his armor on. Right, so we went through white door, which loops us around to an area here, which is going to get us to security, which does imply we might get a big revelation in security. A lot of these rooms feel very, very much like they are made up from the exact same rooms of the first game, just slightly differently animated while telling basically the same story with different characters. Did you see the plaque on the door?
It said security. Footage from the surveillance cameras might run through here.
Which inherently this might show us who the murderer is, not that that probably matters too much. Does that mean we'll be able to see what's going on in the rest of the facility?
Not sure. Right now all the screens are dark. Even if we could activate them, I doubt Zero is just gonna let us watch whatever we want.
Yeah, I'm worried about them. We don't know what happened to Kay and Dio either.
Yeah. Well, let's see what we can do here.
Yeah, we don't know really what happened to Moya or Ginky or whatever the kid's name was. It does feel like there's a decent chance in every playthrough they will eliminate the kid in the same way that the blind character in the first game was eliminated for the vast majority of time. Alright, well, we've got a whole bunch of stuff. A roof, a safe, a button, a door, some more stuff. Let's start with some simple stuff. What's in here? We've got some buttons, some binders. Can't understand a word of these. It looks like some kind of code. All of them binders are alike. Shoot. Okay. We have a screen here. We have a screen here. Speakers, yeah. They look pretty normal. got a screen here. Got screens here. Screen here. This definitely feels like a facility designed for a minimum of 4 people, really. Like, because 3 people sitting at the consoles looking at the screens on their in front of them, with at least 1 person looking at the monitor ahead of above them. Some binders, they're full of codes I can't read. Wonder what this is. Don't know. Looks like a machine of some kind. Yeah, it does kind of feel like we very possibly are gonna just end up getting getting a key very quickly. We have a number 4 and a number 11 red sand. Let's see. Set of shells made up of 8 hexagons. There's triangle wedges in the middle. I thought maybe you'd click on them and that would do something, but apparently not. We obviously don't have a key to open that. Over here we've got another triangle. Here we have the door. Is there something down there? No, it's just interesting. There's a color scheme here. Like green, yellow, and red. And then you have on the steps red, magenta, cyan, yellow, green, blue. So it definitely feels like a color scheme. Well, as dumb as it might seem, I think I'm just gonna have to hit this button. Lion ate the sun. Sofa seems perfectly normal. Remember death. What if the lion ate the sun? Is that a lion? What's it's got in its mouth? Some kind of button, right? Looks like you can push it. I barely make it out, but I think there's something carved on the surface. The sun. Wait, so the lion's eating the sun? Yeah. Whatever. Right now we need to focus on getting out of here. I'm gonna push the button. That's okay? Yeah, sure. Whoa. The light turns off. I guess it's a light switch. Okay. So over here we have green. It's all lit up. They're pretty colorful. Do you think it's a hint? Maybe. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 green, and then 8 red, and then just inverted here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 red and 8 green. Well, let's see. Hey, it just rubbed it a little and it turned on. I don't think the rest is going to be that easy though. Look at the screen. So we need a password. Let's see. When we turn this upside down, the sand does not fall out of this. If we combine them, can't do anything there. Looks like a login screen. I think we need to put in a password. Okay, I'll give it a shot. No clue. This console has a red chair that goes with it, right? Yeah, so nothing. It just caught my eye. So, but let's see what the green. That one wants a password. How do we turn them on? Switches around here. Oh, we did see switches, didn't we? Skipping a lot of this dialogue just because we don't really see. Alright, well, on the other hand, I guess this is easy to figure out. TMJU, how do we get a memo of this though? There we go. Well, it sure would be easier to simply have a list that you could do, a screenshot feature, but we'll do this easily, I guess. T M J Y U V G and J, and we'll put red here. And then I think this is probably blue. Yeah. So are these anagrams? Because if they are, they're gonna be nightmares. We need red, yellow, and green. So S G D. This is, I want this to be a G, so I'm gonna put a line there. It looks like possibly a Q. And then N Y, again using the mouse. And then above that is A D G B, and the top one is green there, and the bottom one is yellow. So we'll put that as a note also. I feel like we potentially have a problem when we start rewinding back in time if we have to put in codes again, because that is definitely not something I would want to have to redo. Like, I'd like to potentially have erase all of this and not have to do it again, which let's see, we have no, like, if I could just eliminate a ton of this and free up some room. Of course, that's a lot of waving stuff around, and I'm just freeing up room in thought that these codes would ideally not have to be solved again. Although it almost feels like in previous playthroughs that we should just know the answer anyways, or we might even go to easy mode, because I don't see a real benefit. And I don't think you get any kind of achievement or anything. You may not get achievements in this game at all, but I doubt you're going to get any kind of special achievement for having every puzzle solved on hard mode in one playthrough. Yeah. Let's see, you have to be fairly careful here because I was all over the place. Alright. And these could be anagrams, but I don't even know. There are letters on the front of the step underneath that red line. TMJYUVGJ. I wouldn't be surprised if that's, frankly, just a case of these are letters that we didn't have to decode. Interesting that we're getting sound effects sometimes when the text pops up and sound effects sometimes when it doesn't. And then sometimes no sound effects. Yeah. Does seem particularly strange. Okay, lights back on. Computers still on their screens. Let's go ahead and flip 9 switches. There's a little thunderbolt icon up here. My guess is these are a bunch of power switches. They're all red. Does that mean they're all off? How about you try and flip some of them? Did you hear something? Yeah, I did. Kind of like a starting up sound. Alright, so we now have room 1 of 9, and potentially, unless there's some kind of puzzle to this, seems like this is straight up just turn on every single switch. It'd be really bad to end on a bad ending simply because I switched all the switches on. In all fairness, I feel like I'm already on the bad path and that the game is kind of wasting my time. These are from security cameras? I thought so. Hey, what about Tamoya, Clover, and Quark? Can you see them anywhere? You can see just as well as I can. There's nobody there. No D or K either. Might as well take a good look at it though. Damn, nothing. So this could be pre-recorded footage, certainly. And we've seen each area. We have floor A, floor B, inside one of the AB rooms. Which the fact that they're only interested inside one of the AB rooms is interesting. Also, we never really confirmed what people had to do to get out of the AB rooms, whether those were different puzzles or the exact same puzzles. This is the Gallium Bay, this is the rec room, this is the pantry, this is the lounge, this is the hospital, and this is the crew quarters, which that kind of makes it feel like there's nothing else to do. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn off the lights again and see if we can see anything different. Alright, well, let's just try to put in the red password. Memo TMJ YUV TMJ YUV GJ. Worked perfectly, no trick there at all. Did it work? Yeah, I guess so. Good job. Ah, cakewalk. Sure did. See that icon? The one in the upper left corner? Yeah. Wonder what this icon means. Well, there's only one way to find out. Very true. Change the colors in the correct to the correct ones by selecting the hexagons and triangles. Remember, you only have 4 moves to complete the puzzle. Okay. Well, there's two options here, and one is either to get the image to look like the shelf on the left or the shelf on the right. I assume it's supposed to be on the left. Okay, well, that would toggle that, and then that would toggle that. And that would toggle that, and that would toggle that. Only have 4 options here, so guess it probably has to be something closer to this. Yeah, you only have 4 options here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't do anything. 1, and then 2. That wouldn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4. It might be. It's probably better to just. Let's go this way. And look. Yeah, it's green all in the center with red around. I assume that's the way they want it. Okay. So something along that lines. And then along that line. And that would swap that. Is this magically gonna do it? Yes, it did. Interesting. We gonna have to be careful. Just how much time we put into this. Once again, it feels like we're probably already like at the end of the story. Nope. The story has continued. Why would the game do that? Why would it hide so much from me and potentially have a dead end when there's more story, clearly? Well, good thing I wrapped up the last recording when I did. Huh. How do you like that puzzle? It's too early to celebrate. Check your screen. You've got a new icon. See, and I don't even know how to do a series like this, since this really is my first foray in covering visual novels, and I kind of didn't even realize how much of a visual novel the Zero Escape series was going to be. Like, if I get the perfect ending, it's going to be really, really hard to go through all the bad endings and try and see that. And I don't think the game should let me do that on the first try. Pair of icons on the screen. What was that noise? Nothing happened on the screen. Look up, the one over your head. Huh? Will be me. Alright, well. We want all red in the middle of this one, right? It's letting me kind of jump to areas instead of really walking and twisting to areas. Green. So green this time was ADGB. Feels like the password was really unnecessary in this. And so it was green in the center before, now we want pink. So we kind of want that to change. And if I change that one, that's probably not gonna work. Do that. And then do that. And then do that. Wish you could kind of just undo. We want pink in the middle. Which that would do that one. And then I might do that one. There's a level of precision here that kind of obviously needs to be followed. And if you don't follow that, you're going to set yourself up for some miserable outcome. There's just so much that has to be swapped that you kind of have to do this and you kind of have to do that. And then maybe that. And maybe that. It's almost right. What if I did something like this? And then this. And yeah, the fact that you have only 4 moves really limits this. Down to that. Then swap one that way. And then swap one that way. Just not enough pieces. That can get you there. And that could get you there. Which Maybe that could get you there. And then... That's not gonna happen either. It would have to be... It can't be that. And it can't be that, because it's really putting you in the wrong position. I mean, it might be this, I suppose, if there was some other big flop that happened. But I don't think so. We did that. And then hit that. But you just don't have enough moves to pull off some trick like that. You basically have to do that. And then you could do that. And you could do that. And then that'll work. Finally. Took forever. These puzzles are not particularly entertaining by any means. Doing it once is one thing, doing it twice just feels redundant. Oh, you figured it out not bad. My reward? Huh. Nice try. Look like Zero's got something for you though. You mean this new icon? Right. I've kind of stopped reading. What are you doing? This is just like the other one. Look up. I was you. Will be me. I feel like there's no reason to have the lights off anymore. Also, I want to look at the chairs. Okay. So, we're gonna just put in the yellow code, I guess. And that's it. Because I can't imagine there really being any other code that needs to be put in. And it really makes me question why I turned on the cameras to see what was there. It just feels like maybe in a different scenario we would have seen something, but in this scenario, maybe in this scenario there's just nothing to see. Alright, so SGDQNY, SGDQNY, first time. Done. Good. That's all of them then. Oh, well done. Would it really kill you to take this down like 10%? Yes. Look at the corner. Yeah. An icon. But this icon is not a puzzle. Is this icon supposed to be an hourglass? Touch it and find out. Right. Determine the value in seconds for each hourglass, then fill in the blanks. If the value is a single digit, place a 0 before it. Alright, well. See how many seconds each of those hourglasses counts. Each of those numbers at the bottom of the screen. Makes sense? No, I didn't even look. Red is 4. Yellow is 11. So 0, 4, 1 Mississippi 2. 0, 4. And this is 11. So what are we doing here? Guess we're trying to figure out on that. When 4 stops, you see that there's like 3 left. So I think that means that's 0, 7. And then, let's see. So that would be 8 here. Okay, 4. And then, let's just try this again. To me, it seems like it's kind of fairly obvious that that there's just 2. Yeah, the numbers can't be that different, really. So, let's see. Yeah, 2. So it's 0, 9. Then we already kind of know this is 11. So then the question really just comes down to 1, 2 plus 4 more 6 plus 4 more is 10. 11 plus 1 more is 12 plus 3 more is 15. That was simpler than it seemed, by far, and does definitely feel like that there were just more hourglasses we were gonna find. Either that or the hourglasses were just extra help that were really unnecessary. Ah, got it. Not bad. There's another icon on the screen now. Yes, there is. So I wonder if there's a different solution to that puzzle. Hey, look, the screen's changed. Huh? What the heck is this? There's a different word on each one. I guess we're supposed to shuffle them around until they make a sentence. How? Well, look at the screen underneath them. It's got the same words in 9 squares. So I'm supposed to use the console to move the words around. That'd be my guess. Okay. Let's give this a shot then. So this is just drag. I was you, me, I want to come back here and look. And look at this. It was I was you, and then will be me, period. Which I think probably does imply that we will have three words left. I was you. She knows everything. Is there different order in which this is supposed to be? So there's a different way this is supposed to work though. Because there's kind of no check here. I will be me. I will she. I was you. Was be knows. She knows everything. She knows everything. There's really no other solution here to this. I was you. Be will be me. Because there's like no retry and there's no check here. I was you spelled that way. Will be me. She knows everything. I was you. You will be me. I mean, could potentially twist it all that way. She knows everything. So I was you. You will be me. She knows everything. Why won't it work? Maybe you don't need some of the words. You think? The unneeded words should be erased. Okay. So yeah. I think they want us to come through here and turn these off, and then that would, at that point, make sense. And so now we've got she knows everything left. She knows everything. No good. Can't get it to work. Probably seems to think some of the words aren't necessary. Well, alright. Then let's revert the other direction. So we may very well have just found a solution. I don't know how that's going to open the safe with those solutions though. I was you and then will be me. Once you get it in order, it just automatically connects. Just as I thought. Yeah, looks like you got it. Good work. Nothing's changed though. Well, at least not here. Yeah. Take a look at the screen up on the wall. This is good work, Sigma. I've been waiting for this. A new safe password, huh? Yeah, let's open it. You found the safe password to view it and navigate to the past tabs on the archive. Alright. Okay. We have no idea what this machine does. We can't do anything with any of these puzzles. So there is another answer. She knows everything. Doesn't unlock. Oh, you have to put it at the bottom. Interesting. Oh, nice work. Look, the screen changed. Yeah, it's a different password this time. This password is different. You memorized it. Yeah, I got it. So, yeah, we solved both so we can get the gold key. Same safe as before. Probably open it the same way too. We just need to plug in the right password. Yeah, give it a try. And I feel fairly safe to continue to follow our pattern of opening the first one, which would be star on 4, moon on 7, and sun on 9. And then getting the gold file. Excellent. It opened. Yay. Inside is a star card. 2 star cards. The star keys the announcer was talking about. And then we've got the same key as usual. Which they don't do anything. Okay, let's get going. And then let's open this. And I feel like we're going to get a gold file that almost certainly is going to fill out a bunch of gibberish that isn't even talked about. Unless they're going to explain a lot of what's going on as far as backstory and secrets. So star on 2, star on 8, sun on 9. They always cycle the same way, so it's fairly easy to figure it out. It opened, so it did. Gold file. Let's take a moment and look and see what we unlocked. Wow. We unlocked room 14. We missed a lot of secret rooms that we'll have to see in other timelines. So we have the graffiti. Remember, you will die if the 9th lion ate the sun. Interesting. Is that the 9th lion? Hourglass displayed on the background is actually a 4-second timer. It doesn't have much practical use except for really impatient people for the restaurant waiting for your food to come out, for instance. Gentle points. These are a measure of how much a gentleman you are. Somewhere deep in the United Kingdom is an organization that tracks all gentlemen, determining their caliber based on ancient Byzantine collection of rules and guidelines. Wow. I saw that guy said gentle points, but I did not believe that was anything other than a mistranslation. Every year during the spring, a representative of this organization conducts a cursory investigation into each member's behavior, or at least appears to, then awards gentle points based on what they saw. The following formula is used. Old ladies escorted across the street. Top hats owned. Puzzles solved. Money given to gentlemen's tracking organization equals total gentle points. So, I guess Dio was dressed up like a gentleman, although frankly he really looked more like a circus presenter. Knife. Here's a image of the knife that we never got to see. It has MYMIDON stamped on the flat of the blade. I guess that's a brand. And the description of the blade is oddly exactly accurate to the description of the stab wound. No difference whatsoever that the scanning machine said. We know whose blood would be on the knife. Almost certainly. Several of the hallways on floor B have special locks indicated by the maps by arrows. On the far side of each arrow is a lever. Pulling these levers will unlock the locks. Once this has been done, you can explore the entire area at your leisure. We didn't run into any of that. Principle of causality, the law of cause and effect. Specifically, the cause must precede every effect. At a quantum level, however, things aren't quite as immutable. The principle of quantum superposition holds that any physical system, such as an electron, exists at least partially in all theoretical states or configurations. And see, this is one of those cases where they're going to use quantum science to explain magic, when even if a particle might be in a superposition state, which is more of a mathematical theoretical explanation of what they're doing than the proven actuality of what's happening, it certainly does not scale up to individual humans being in quantum states and multi-dimensionals and multiple timelines. Classic example of this is the double slit experiment, where light appears to behave both as a wave and a particle. One of the interesting implications of this is that, in a sense, you are influencing the past, observing a system. You're defining the cause and effect you witness, in a way altering the past. Normally I would comment here that the quantum levels of where poop gets real, but given the nature of the phenomena, it seems like it would be more accurate to say the quantum level is where poop gets unreal. I don't know who's really writing any of this. If this is just commentary, basically, from the game writer and developer. We have Knox's 10 Commandments. Reginald Knox, a mystery writer from the UK, published following as his rules for writing mystery novel, which mentioning this is almost certainly going to be a hint as to who the Zero is. The criminal must be mentioned early on. All supernatural or preternatural agencies are ruled out. No more than one secret room or passage. No hitherto undiscovered poisons may be used, nor application which will need long scientific explanation. No one with extra sensory perception or similar powers can appear. Well, that rules out this game. No accident must ever help the detective, nor must he ever have an unaccountable intuition which proves to be right. The detective may not commit the crime. The detective must declare any clues he may discover. The stupid friend of the detective, the Watson, must conceal nothing from the reader, which, in all fairness, I feel like a lot of the Sherlock Holmes stories, Watson did conceal a lot from the reader, in the sense that Sherlock himself seemed to conceal a lot from the reader. Twin brothers or doubles in general must not appear unannounced. Those are probably decent rules to consider. Rules are made to be broken, certainly, but it is an interesting thought nonetheless. Did we get any more as I'm drinking water? Nope. If the 9th lion eats the sun, you will die. Well, he's already done that, so does that mean I should leave this room with the lights on or with the lights off? Because this would be about the only second point where that would even begin to start to make sense, is that you would have a button you could toggle. And it would be pretty pathetic if it turns out that determines the end of this path. Here we go then. 3, 2, 1. We open, we escape the room, and we found it. What are we finding? I'm not really even sure.
Wait.
So now she murders me.
I just realized something.
What's that?
When we were looking at the security footage earlier, we were just looking for live feeds. We were trying to figure out where the others are, what they were up to, if they were alive, and so on.
True, but it seemed like we didn't have any buttons on any of the computers to control anything, so how are you going to pull up recorded feeds?
We totally forgot that security systems like this can do more than show you live footage.
You would be surprised on how many security systems have like a busted hard drive or no hard drive installed, and companies, businesses have just cheaped out and put up just the live feeds and only live feeds on top of the number of massive amounts of dummy cameras that are out there that aren't connected to any security system at all.
Are you following me?
Talking about stuff that's been recorded, right? Fudge of the past. If they store that, we might be able to see it.
I don't know how much luck we'll have, but it's worth a shot.
At a certain point, like security footage that's recorded in many scenarios is not worth much to a company. Like if they're not catching a shoplifter within a few hours of them shoplifting, if somebody isn't seeing it live and catching them and calling the police or whatever, then that person more than likely is going to get away with it. It's just not worth the effort to dealing with the police and hoping the police would actually prosecute people, which they often don't want to bother with the paperwork. You know how to use this thing?
It was designed so that a human could operate it. That means there's a logic to how it's set up.
That's a big assumption.
A computer computes, a calculator calculates, and an automobile mobiles. Everything's designed to do something, and once you know what, you can start guessing how. Once you start to figure out how to get it to do things, it's just a question of playing with it until it does the things you want it to. See?
So, well, this is a little bit better than the hacking scene in the previous game, where the belly dancer girl in that game just fervently started tapping on the keyboards, and it was kind of a joke response, a joke scene. Monitoring video data. Looks like this is it. Good work.
Knock it off.
See, it's weird though that the computers would actually be computers and that this wouldn't just all be a puzzle escape room. It's kind of weird that any of this is actually connected to the security stuff. I would almost assume that there was a completely different security room hidden somewhere completely different. And this was all just a staged mock-up. No data. And weird codes naming the cameras. Wait. What the heck is this? Everything says no data.
Let's check the log. Damn it.
And see, this is a case where, once again, they focus so much on making 3D models of characters that they've run out of budget now to animate her moving her fingers, so we're just looking at a flat 2D image of a 3D model, which looks way worse than if we were just looking at a flat 2D image of people of a 2D model. Plus, you could almost certainly have more budget if you weren't wasting it making 3D models to have at least 2 different scenes that made it somewhat seem like they were typing. Or at least we could get a sound effect in here of typing.
This isn't good. Looks like all the video data was removed before we got here.
By Zero?
That would be my guess.
By Zero or by Zero Jr.?
All it says here is administrator.
Damn. Well, it's a little frustrating. That footage could have told us a lot.
Yeah.
Where are we on the flow now? Like, there is going to be a split once again, but wasn't really expecting it. And we kind of know that some of these other paths can't turn into splits, or this screen is just going to get wider and wider and wider. It would be interesting to find out if actually some of these paths just disappear and they actually never existed. This whole flow was a red herring. That'd be interesting trick.
It might have given us what we need to figure out who the killer is, too. The camera in room 2 in the crew quarters would have recorded what happened to Alice and Luna. Same for the old woman in the warehouse. And if there was a recording of us being carried into the AB rooms, we could have even figured out who Zero Senior is.
Hey, what's
Wanna
this?
open it?
Yeah.
It says Golem status.
That should be the system logs of those robots. I told you about them in the pantry, remember?
Yeah. You mean the room full of robots on the other side of the green door?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Shoot. Everything here has been erased too. Do we see Golem listed on this? They need to scroll down because his model number is not listed. GLMN. It's the last part.
Looks like it.
I guess there isn't anything we can... Wait a second. There's a scroll bar. Try scrolling. So Golem is active data available. I knew it. That Golem that we met is still functional.
What do you mean? I thought you told me Golem, or whatever his name was, started spitting smoke and keeled over.
Yeah, but that's just his body. But he said is that what passes for Golem's brain, I guess, was in the main computer. Only his body was disabled. His brain is probably still functioning. Can we see his logs?
Already on it. Here you are.
It's odd that Golem is turning out to be such a useful source of info. Then, try the one that says cache. What do these numbers mean? These file names are all just like random characters. We'll go through them all. It's not like there's that many. Whatever, just pick one and open it, I guess.
Sure.
So she picks the third. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is probably from right after K decked us. We'll be tossed into the white door on the left any minute. Just watch. See?
Interesting.
So we can watch and see what he did after that point.
This is the footage the Golem pulled from the main server. The original data was deleted. But it looks like the stuff he pulled is still here. So, if we go back through these files...
Yeah. We might be able to figure out who the killer is. Maybe even find out who Zero Senior is.
Nice. Great work, Sigma.
Come on, I told you, I don't need you kissing my butt. Besides, it's not like I really did anything. We started going through the rest of the files. Thank goodness, or they skipped all that. The security footage showed K and Dio clearly passing through the white door on the far right. So they are still alive, assumedly.
Looks like they're both fine.
Hmm. That just leaves Tomoya, Clover, and Cork. I opened my mouth to continue, and then it happened. My vision suddenly blurred, and shaking my head did nothing to clear it. This would be a weird point for the game to just kind of end, certainly. Is there supposed to be a effect or something that would be affecting me because of the timelines? Like this is the first run. That'd be really weird. Also, I am noticing that there's a line of pixels that seem to be getting displayed on my monitor at the very bottom that is not being overlaid by the flow screen. Which, that is weird. But I don't know if the recording software is getting that. It may not. I staggered, my balance gone. Hey, are you alright? What's going on? Why is she talking like that? Well, if she's talking faster, that means I'm moving and thinking slower. Was there poison on the light switch? Yep. She's not sounding like this. She sounds like someone's playing the tape of her voice all sped up. What is going on here? I can't understand what she's saying. If you're not figuring out what she's saying, I would suggest pausing it and trying to break up all the words she's not really saying. Why was she moving so fast? It's like watching a video on fast forward. Maybe I do have Radical 6. What the hell is... Wait. Could it be me? Maybe my brain is slowing down somehow. So it just looks like everything else is speeding up. Why don't you lie down for a bit? I still couldn't make out what she was saying, so I just nodded weakly. My eyes drifted shut as I tried to sort out what was happening to me. So you go to sleep in this murder game, you probably are going to wake up dead. Woke up several minutes later. When I woke up, my eyes, the first thing I saw was the ceiling of the security office. I sat up slowly, rubbing gingerly at my head. Vi who had been sitting in front of one of the 3 monitors, stood up and walked over as soon as she heard me move. I'm surprised she didn't just run off.
You okay?
That was weird and probably not going to get explained. Her voice sounded normal again, and she wasn't moving strangely either. Whatever had happened seemed to have stopped. I let out a quiet sigh of relief. Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
You sure?
Yeah.
That's good. You really looked like you'd lost it for a minute there.
Well, I seem to have found it again. This is the security office. Maybe they've got a lost and found.
Sanity's pretty easy to miss. I'm surprised anyone found it, let alone turned it in.
Hey.
Well, looks like I don't have anything to worry about.
So in that time that you were knocked out, she could have deleted any footage. Yeah, I think I must be getting tired. Kind of surprised it didn't catch up to me sooner.
That's all it is. You haven't caught a disease or something, have you?
For just a moment, I thought of Radical 6, but I didn't want to worry if I didn't have to. Better to stay quiet about it.
Well, you're looking a lot better, so I can stop worrying, right?
See, if everybody is infected with Radical 6, except for maybe Sai, who is a robot, or we think is a robot, it kind of puts this pointlessness to this whole game, because everybody may die regardless. What are you, my mom?
No more check-ins. Anyway, I figured something out while you were resting. Come have a look at this.
We're getting the same stationary image multiple times. What is it?
Footage from room 2 in the crew quarters. The room where we found Alice and Luna.
You would think it would take more than a couple minutes to forge video footage, but it if you have a quantum computer and an AI supercomputer, any footage could have been doctored at any point.
I dug it out of Gollum's cache.
Hmm. Where was this
See you in a
recorded?
minute.
Or when was this recorded, maybe? Up there on the right. That's some sort of time
Can you
code.
figure it out?
No. It's just a bunch of numbers. I can't make heads or tails of
Yeah.
it.
The central server seems to be using its own time system. Files appear to be named based on that system. It might
Interesting.
as well be random to you and me, which made it pretty hard to find this gem.
Huh? Oh, it's K.
Yeah.
He looks at his bracelet here. Probably checking how much time is
I'll
left.
just pause that and magnify it.
He can magnify. 21 minutes. So that means the footage is from 20 minutes before the primary door is opened, right?
Exactly.
And that would have been when the white doors in this case. That would have been the white doors in this case,
Yes.
right?
After Kay leaves this room, it's about 2 minutes before he comes back with you and me.
Okay. There was 20 minutes on the clock when we met up with him. So that means what we're saying here is came 1 minute before he saw
Right.
us. That means this is right after he tried to resuscitate Luna. Well, I don't see Luna.
Yeah, if you believe him. The footage here doesn't show any of that.
Are there any other
I
angles?
looked around, but I couldn't find one. The only stuff left is shot from this position. Even so, I think we've gotten our hands on something important.
I mean that this is a record of what happened right around the time of Luna's death, right?
Exactly. Are you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. I'll move back to the start of this file so we can see it in chronological order.
So apparently she hasn't even seen this footage
Let's say
herself.
this is 0 hours, 0 minutes. After all, it's not like we know what time it actually is.
Right.
So, this is the start of our footage.
Okay. There's no one
Yeah.
here.
About a minute goes by before anyone shows up.
Wait. How do you know? It's been a minute.
This.
Oh, that's the hourglass they used earlier. A 4-second hourglass does not easily get used accurately, certainly, because to get 60 seconds out of 4 seconds, you're talking 25 times you would have had to have perfectly flipped it. And I don't know why you need that level of accuracy when you could just estimate.
Yeah. If I play it back at normal speed, I can measure time using this hourglass.
You'd be better off using the 11 seconds one.
Then I just add the time from the hourglass, and that's how far in we are.
It seems particularly unnecessary. You can't just count Mississippis. Oh, someone's coming in. Luna. Is that Clover behind her?
Yeah.
So it seems like it is going to be Clover that
This
killed
is
her.
0 hours, 1 minute. Right now, you and I are talking to Dio in the Floor B warehouse. With the time frame we've established, calculating what we're doing is pretty easy.
What's going on? It seems like there's probably a security footage that is getting skipped forward. And it's not uncommon for security footage to really only take 1 frame a second instead of a standard 60 frames a second or even less. Are they fighting? No. It's not really a fight. It looks like Clover's just going off on Luna. Luna's just staying silent and listening to her.
Yeah.
Can we hear them? Is there any audio
Wanna
track?
listen to it?
What the hell is
Dunno.
this?
The audio data must have been transcoded into something else.
Well, we won't be able to understand anything in that. So it apparently turns the audio into a kind of binary modem sound.
Seen enough?
Not really.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit.
Huh?
Piper's interrogation goes on for a while, but it's all pretty much the same thing. Now, at 0 hours 10 minutes, things suddenly change. Here.
Hey, they're gone. As I watch Clover move steadily closer to Luna, who backed away with almost as if she were frightened, Clover continued to advance until she disappeared below the bottom of the edge of the screen. Is there another? Oh no, you said this was it.
Yeah, this is the only one that I found. Shouldn't be too hard to guess what happened after you've seen the next part, though.
Clover left. She looked like she was kind of panicking.
Yeah. This is about 1 minute and 40 seconds after they both left the frame. So 0 hours 11 minutes 40 seconds.
So, are these numbers important? I wonder if they are or not. I also kind of wonder, could there have been somebody secretly in a secret passage behind Luna this whole time for a 10-minute argument and nobody would have seen it? That's questionable. Or was it possible that Clover was going to try and convince Luna to let her inject her and stop her heart and then resuscitate her? But then Clover just messed up. Yeah, that doesn't sound believable either. So it looks like Clover's the killer. Only Clover left. Luna is still in the room. That means...
Hold on. Wait until you've seen the whole thing before you start deducing. At 0 hours 12 minutes, another person comes in, just missing her.
Once again, the game is basically breaking the fourth wall to tell you to not jump to conclusions. Dio. He disappeared too. Down below the bottom of the frame. What's he up to?
I don't know.
So, I mean, the question though, was it a case that Clover pushed Luna but didn't inject her, and then Dio came and finished her off and killed her? Could it be that Luna was just scared and staying at the bottom of the screen and she was about to leave as Dio came in?
But I'm pretty sure that whatever it was, he doesn't want us to know about it. Remember what he said when you asked him about Quark?
How the fuck would I know? I've been here.
Yep. You're saying he was lying. He wasn't in the Floor B warehouse the whole time. He went to the crew quarters after we left him.
So what would have been important enough for him to lie about it?
Well, he would have wanted the bracelet from Alice, but he missed it.
We should consider that it might have been something bad.
He might have also just gone in there and taken the knife. Whatever it was, it happened during this time.
I think so.
Alright, now he's left. Yeah, if he's not holding on to the knife, then I'd really like to know where the knife got stuffed in Clover's outfit. That she would have panicked and grabbed the knife out of Alice, which we assume actually is her friend. It looks like he left in a hurry.
Maybe you heard a noise.
Like what?
Cyan door opening. Now, 10 seconds after Dio leaves, a fourth person shows up. That
Who is
brings
that?
us to 0 hours, 13 minutes, 10 seconds.
They are complicating this quite a bit. It's Kay. When he heard Kay open the cyan door, he panicked. Whatever he was up to, he didn't want Kay to catch him at it.
And then Kay disappears too.
Yes, below the bottom of the frame, just like the others. The idea that Kay killed Luna just becomes ridiculous, because then you have to assume that Clover pushed and knocked Luna out, and then Dio came in, saw Luna, ignored her completely, took the knife out of the chest of Alice, and then ran away, and then Kay came as the third person and started doing CPR.
If Kay was telling the truth, This is where he begins to try and resuscitate Luna. Anyway, nothing happens for the next 16 minutes. It's just this. So I'll fast forward, alright?
So we do more fast forwarding.
Alright. Should be around here.
This would have been probably a great point for the footage to have simply been damaged, and that way you could just have a very easy explanation as for why large portions of this time is being skipped.
1 sec.
And it would have probably been fine if the time codes were readable by humans.
You should see something you recognize in a minute here.
Of course, the time codes probably also are hiding the fact as to what day it actually is, or what year, or even what century it might actually be. Okay, coming in from the bottom of the frame. And he's checking the time on his bracelet. So we've come full circle, huh?
Yeah. We're back to 21 minutes before the primary doors open. For our arbitrary time code, that's 0 hours and 29 minutes. 1 minute later, at 0 hours 30 minutes, Kay heads to the Floor A warehouse.
Once he gets there, he tells us about Luna's death.
That's all the footage I wanted to show you. I've looked at it carefully, and I think it has something to tell us.
You mean who killed Luna, right?
Well, I can't say for sure. This footage makes for pretty shaky evidence, but it does suggest a very likely culprit. Who do you think it is?
I ran over the footage in my head. 0 hours 1 minute, Clover and Luna enter the room. So if we hit an actual choice here, which we may very well, I guess I'm going to just pick the top choice, which would probably be Clover. Clover aggressively questions Luna. 10 minutes, they both move out of frame. 11 minutes, 40 seconds, Clover exits the room. In 12 minutes, Dio enters the room. Also immediately exits the frame. It seems like Dio was up to no good during this period. 0 hour 13 minutes, Dio exits the room. 13 minutes 10 seconds, Kay enters the room. Getting down the hall in less than 10 seconds. Blah blah blah. There's a lot of repetition here of just recapping what we just saw, so they should have either gotten rid of this recap or gotten rid of what we just saw. Unless there was some trick here where Kay could change the time on his bracelet, which, if he could do that, I don't know what that really would solve. I don't think there's anything to take from that. Seems to be only one conclusion. The person who killed Luna is... It's Clover, it's Dio, it's Kay. So we do have a choice. We'll just go with Clover. Clover.
What makes you think so? Luna could still have been alive after Clover left the room.
I suspect that might be the case.
Dio and Kay both went into the room after Clover. Either of them could have killed Luna too.
The footage alone isn't enough to tell us who the killer is, but if we take one other thing into account, then the case against Clover gets a lot stronger.
What is that element?
Dio's behavior at the white doors. Kay wanted us to enter the white doors. He told him I wouldn't leave 3 people to die. Do you remember what Dio said?
Use your fucking head for once. You're gonna get us killed.
He obviously knew that only you and I would be going through the door. Do you get it?
Yeah. He knew he had Luna's bracelet. Which means he also knew Luna was dead. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm getting at. That's what Sigma is getting at. I'm not paying enough attention to the story anymore at this point to follow that. It's a lot of text and visual novels. I could definitely use some sequences of just good old-fashioned first-person shooting. Exactly. If he didn't know she was dead, he would have never said that. The moment Kay suggested we were going through the doors, he would have brought it up. That's impossible. How are we supposed to get through without Luna? But he didn't even mention her. Like he didn't expect her to be there. Why would he do that? I can only think of two reasons. One, that when Dio entered the room, Luna was already dead. Or two, he killed Luna himself. So the solution works for both guesses. The second one doesn't seem likely though. If Dio had killed Luna, he probably would have made a point to hide that. I'm guessing he probably would have asked where she was. Where's Luna? Sigma and Phi won't be able to get through the white door without her. He seems like the kind of guy who'd go out of his way to feign ignorance of a crime he committed. In this case, though, he said nothing. That doesn't clear him, of course, but it does make a lot less likely that he was the killer. If he wasn't the killer, then we're left with only one other option.
When Dio entered the room, Luna was already dead.
Yeah, that's how I see it. ...
Interesting. That's pretty much what I thought too. And it does seem like Clover had a motive.
Clover, more than any other character, also ended up being the murderer in the first game, in most timelines. You mean that Alice noticed?
The movement of the A-B rooms convinced Alice that Luna had killed the old woman. Once Clover realized that, she probably started to think that Luna had killed Alice to keep her from telling anyone else the truth. She probably led Luna to the crew quarters to confront her. Maybe she hoped seeing Alice's corpse would cause Luna to confess. Maybe she knew something we don't. But Clover didn't get what she wanted. Luna didn't confess. Then, during her interrogation, something happened. It's hard to say what. Luna might have said something that set Clover off.
Or maybe Luna tried to kill Clover.
Or maybe she admitted to a crime she didn't commit just to get Clover to stop. Whatever it was, something happened that drove Clover to murder.
When did Clover get the injection gun? There's a good question.
I would guess after she went through the yellow door, she would have been exploring the infirmary with Alice and Kay. That seems the most likely place to find it. Anyway, this is all just a theory, right? We don't have any proof, so...
That's
keep
true.
quiet, okay?
Yeah, I know. Sarah taking forever to get out of this room. Oh, there's one last thing. Was there any other footage that showed anything?
No, nothing to tell us where Clover, Tenmyoji, and Quark went. And nothing about the old woman or Alice's murders either.
For Zero Senior's identity?
Still unknown.
Okay, well, let's go find Clover. I guess we're not going to know the truth unless we get it straight from the horse's mouth.
I wonder if Clover's even alive.
It's an interesting question. I mean, I guess the assumption is, was Clover Zero, or was Clover perhaps murdered by Zero, or maybe just killed because of the chromatic door rule that I'm not sure is actually a rule, that everybody had to actually get through them. She is. She has to be. ...
I sure hope so. ...
I wouldn't be surprised if we actually did fairly quickly just start saying that everybody was dead everywhere. And we still have to deal, I guess, with the AB game and who we're gonna trust or not trust to get 9 points. I'm a little surprised that Quark didn't, wherever Quark's bracelet is, hasn't shown up and just been used. It paints what feels like a false sense of security that Quark could have gotten 9 points early in any timeline, and he won't immediately use it and betray everybody else. Well, I feel like almost certainly that won't be the case for other characters. At least one of these endings is going to end with somebody going through the 9 door and leaving us behind. Although, it could be that Quark has gone through the 9 door a long time ago, and going through this whole rigmarole may not actually matter. No one's here.
Alright, let's start looking. We'll go through the crew quarters and work our way toward the elevator. Got it?
Like, there might actually be no notification that the 9 door opens when the 9 door opens. So Quark may have slipped through it hours ago. It's going to be fairly redundant if we end up finding 2 or 3 more dead bodies in the same crew quarters.
I'll take 3 and 4.
This should be a little bit more varied than that. Got it. Nothing in 1. And see, we open 2, and it'd be funny if the bodies are missing. Nothing in 2. I thought the bodies were in 2. Alice and Luna, they are in 2. Most horrible thing about death is how it turns a person into a thing. It's a thing that looks like your friend, but it's not them anymore. Just a strange cold shell, and every time you look at it, it feels a little. You feel a little of that coldness creeping in around the edges of your soul. Seeing death puts a heavy ball of lead in your stomach that just sits there poisoning you. I turned, I left the room. See, in most murder mystery games, you would really want some gameplay around investigating areas and getting clues and actually trying to find out who the killer is. That's not what these are, though. They really aren't murder mystery games. They are just horror stories with multiple timelines.
There's no one in 3 or 4.
We're trusting her, but also don't think I've ever actually looked in 3 and 4. So there could be dead bodies galore in both of those rooms. Same, nobody in them except Alice and Luna. And then she looks sad, which that looks like that's a pose. Very neutral pose there that probably should have been used a lot more. Just arms down, looking sad. The lead ball pressed against the inside of my abdomen. I leaned back against the wall and let out a long, weary sigh.
What's wrong? You need to get it together.
Yeah, I wouldn't... Like, this is probably the way all of the 3D models should have been depicted. Just get right under the bust line, as it were, of the characters, male and female characters combined. Don't bother to show bellies. Don't bother to show hands. Zoom in on the camera and focus on making the animation look as good as you can, just for the head and face. Which, unfortunately, by modern standards, the polygon count is pretty pathetically low, even for the shoulders of the characters.
What are we doing right now?
Looking for the others. Right.
I know how you feel, but sitting around being miserable isn't going to help anybody. Let's go.
Yeah. And see, if you were going to do an animation where she puts her hand up, it needs to be kind of a smooth motion to put her hands up and then very quickly decide to put it back down. So that there is a complete action that returns to a more standard resting state. If I turned and headed for the door at the far east, I heaved myself up off the wall and followed. It definitely feels like a problem where we're potentially just going in circles now and we're just walking around and wasting time. I want to just move the story forward. We also have gotten no information as far as the old lady, and if that is a defibrillator that's labeled AED, then putting somebody, stopping somebody's heart with a drug and then reviving them with the defibrillator was potentially an option. And here we are. We're starting to wrap up the story some more. It's not Clover, I guess, at this point. Or if it was Clover, then somebody else has killed Clover. We can see her and Tomoya are chained to a drain, which could probably stop both of them for long enough to stop them from getting into the white chromatic doors. I also wouldn't be surprised if they were murdered some other way, other than the injections on the wrist. But we kind of do need to see somebody murdered by the injections on the wrist so we know that that actually works. It feels like the revelation in the last game may have been, if I recall correctly, that the bombs actually didn't ever exist in anyone other than a couple of bad guys. It looks like Clover's wrist is bloody, but that could be from struggling with handcuffs. Where they got handcuffs, I don't know. Look at Clover's knees also. Look at that terrible low polygon knee. In all fairness, I doubt there are too many 3D animators or modelers out there that can do knees particularly well. But I bet a 2D animator could have done a much better job. First thing I felt was the strange cold sweat of terror. My stomach clenched in protest, pushing a wave of bile and nausea into my throat. The lead ball turned into ice, and then my legs began to tremble under the weight before they finally gave way to and collapsed. In this game, we haven't seen any toilets or anything, so like this one drain potentially might be the closest thing you could have put a knife down to get rid of it. And I don't think you really would have even been able to put the knife down that, or put down the poison from that was used in the auto injector to get rid of that. They were dead. I could feel it at the moment I looked at them. I didn't want to believe it. They couldn't be dead. How? Like, I guess maybe Dio with the knife could have forced them both to handcuff themselves to the sink. Perhaps they were just sleeping. The cold limp feel of their skin under my shaking fingers dashed any hope I had left. I wrapped a trembling hand around the end of the bed and hauled myself up onto it. Even when I closed my eyes, I could see them. I could still see them. My heart hammered away at my ribs, and my chest felt so tight I could barely breathe. I forced myself to take a long, deep breath. Finally, I opened my eyes.
They were in a blind spot.
There's a mirror. It looks pretty dirty. Well, it's just not going to reflect. What?
A security camera. Remember how we didn't see anything in the real-time feed in the security room?
Yeah. I guess this partition was in the way. So Zero knew about the blind spots. Alright, well, they're handcuffed together. I'm gonna pause the video. These recordings are particularly long, so breaks are more necessary than normal, and I'll come right back. Okay, I'm back. It is very weird trying to cover a visual novel, trying to figure out just how long an episode really should be, because ideally I wouldn't want to have to record and schedule like 100 episodes for a game like this, so we're going like 3 hours. They're handcuffed together. I see blood on the shirt of Tomoji, which does imply that some characters' clothing can be stained in blood, at least after they've been murdered, and blood on the finger of Clover and on her left wrist.
Yeah. Whoever did this really didn't want them going anywhere.
If this was Dio, then there's a question, I suppose, as to what Dio's plan actually was in the long run as far as overpowering and killing Kay. Everybody else, I think Dio probably figures he can get the upper hand on, but Kay is the big question mark, frankly. If it's Kay, then there's not that much of a question, because Kay could easily overpower people and handcuff them.
The chain's been looped around the pipe below the sink.
They would have been trapped here while the door's closed. Why?
Look.
Look.
See the red marks on their wrists? They were trying to get the handcuffs off.
So those are the red marks. So you're saying it wasn't one of them that did this? I feel like it would be fairly easy to grab the handcuff with your other wrist and with your other hand and turn around and stick your feet against the wall and then go 1, 2, 3, push, and have both of them probably pull the drain pipe off the sink. It's not like people weld steel plates to drain pipes on sinks, although this is set in the future, so maybe there is some kind of like genius technology there, although highly unlikely, because the whole point of a J trap or P trap or S trap like that is in part so it would be fairly easy to take apart and clean if it got clogged, which inherently you can't make something really, really strong and sturdy and removable easily. Of course, being an old man and potentially a young 18-year-old, well, let's say that's how old Clover is, they may have just been on both sides of the spectrum as far as being wimps or weak.
Probably not.
There's a cut in Tomoya's left hand, and honestly, I see injection marks on his wrist, so I think he got injected, and that's what killed him more than anything. If there was a cut on his hand, that probably indicates Dio used the knife on him. Looks like it's probably from a knife or something similar. Must have been deep.
And the blood on his clothes probably came from that wound. Don't see any others, at least. If this was the only one, it doesn't look fatal. I don't think he died from this cut.
The penalty. Now, I guess the needles retract after they inject, because I'm not seeing any animation on either of these on either of the bracelets. It also it would open up a whole new avenue of murdering somebody if you could just take a bracelet that had been opened and then stab the needle into somebody and potentially have that needle still have some poison on it. When the primary door is closed, they couldn't get to him. So I guess that was a rule. They really failed to flash back and remind us when that rule was said, unfortunately. And we needed that. The needles and the bracelets activated, and
you can see the marks on their wrists from where they were injected.
You can also see like veins from the poison in Clover's hands. It's also, once again, worth pointing out, Clover's fingernails definitely feel like they should have been painted for all her other wild high fashion.
Tubacurine must have killed them.
The bracelet also doesn't really feel like it's tight enough on Tomoya's hand. There, it seems like he could probably very easily slip out of that. Do you think that's why they were handcuffed to the sink?
They wouldn't have been able to get through the white doors without Quark.
Which, that is the slight indication that this might be Quark that did this. Although, if Quark got the knife, could a kid really force two people to handcuff themselves to the sink? and not get rushed? That's the real question. But then again, Zero could have potentially even used like a robot to force one of the golems to do it.
Someone wanted to use the penalty to kill them. They didn't need to tie them up.
Yeah, you've got a point. What's wrong?
Take back what I just said.
You find something?
Yeah.
If I bent down to pick up something and handed it to me. The cyan bracelet. This was Quark's. Also, it has 9 points. And it's open. So, either Quark is dead somewhere and they just don't want to show a dead body of a child, or Quark could take it off at any point. We should probably get the luminol back from Tinmoya's possession and try and see that on anyone else's bracelet, including Quark's.
Correct. It has 9 BP too. There's no mistake.
If this is Dio or K or Quark, at this point, whoever did it, murdered Tomoya and Clover, clearly doesn't want to just escape. He clearly wants to brutally murder everybody. If it was just a matter of trying to kill people, then he could have escaped. Quark could have escaped a long time ago. Dio could have taken that 9 BP bracelet and escaped. One assumes, unless there was some other understanding that you could only open the 9 door with your own bracelet, and not someone else's. What's Quark's bracelet doing here? Wait, no, hold on. If Quark's bracelet is here, then that means...
Your heart stops. Your bracelet comes off.
No. No. This can't be happening. Not Quark.
Hey, Sigma. Calm down. Just because his bracelet's off doesn't mean Quark's dead.
It still, I suppose, could be the case that Quark went through the 9 door and the bracelet came off and then he threw it through the door, even though the 9 door would then never open again. But
In fact, this could be good news. A ray of hope.
maybe? Ray of hope. Maybe... Oh, maybe what happens is once you get 9 points, the bracelet comes off automatically, and that's a supplemental rule nobody's found out yet.
Yeah. If Quark still had his bracelet on, then he would have ended up like Tenmyoji and Clover. But
Suppose.
he's not wearing it. That means he might have managed to avoid getting injected with tubocurarine.
You mean the bracelet came off before the doors closed?
Yeah.
That's impossible. Zero Jr. told us that they only come off when your heart stops or when you escape.
Maybe he got out then.
Right, he's got 9 BP. Wait, so you're saying he escaped, then came back and left his bracelet here? No, that's impossible too. Zero Jr. said the number 9 door only opens once. Even if he was able to get outside, he couldn't come back
Why do
in.
you have to be so pessimistic? Have you actually seen Quark dead, huh? You need to think positive, Sigma.
Think positive, sure.
Reality is what we believe it to be.
Hey. Really? So you're saying this is what we wanted to happen?
That's enough!
And she slaps him. Which maybe you needed some narration there, parentheses slap.
Quark is definitely alive.
She wants to tell herself that, and it would just be better for Sigma to believe that. You know, being a little deluded in a murder game might be beneficial.
He has to be. He has to be. I refuse to believe he isn't.
This is another case where the lip flaps really are gonna stand out.
Can't let an innocent kid like that get killed.
Yeah, I think maybe the lip flaps might slightly match the Japanese, but they did zero work to try to make it to match the English. We assume he's innocent. wanted to ask if she meant Clover and Tomoya weren't innocent and had deserved to die, but I swallowed my words. Fighting wasn't going to help us. All I could do was hope that Vi was right. Perhaps Quark was still alive. What are you doing?
Examining their bodies. Tenmyoji first.
Why?
Clues.
What kind of clues?
Who might have killed them? Finding Quark's bracelet tells us something. If the killer saw it, that would make for an obvious motive.
With Quark's bracelet, Clover Tomoji would have been able to go through the white door. The killer handcuffed him to the sink to prevent that.
Right. That's my guess, at least. That's odd.
What's wrong?
Can't find anything.
Oh.
I should have found something.
Interesting. See, this might be another case of her knowing some other timeline. What?
You remember when we ran into Tenmyoji in the rec room? He sprayed our wrists with luminol.
Oh, yeah, the luminol.
I'm sure I saw him pull the spray bottle out of his pocket.
Now you can't find it.
Right.
Do you think the killer took
I
it?
don't know. I'm gonna take a look at Clover, too. Give me a minute.
I knelt down next to Clover as she spoke and began gingerly examining her corpse. Then after a moment I saw her hand stop.
Look. See your thigh?
What are you going to show me about her thigh?
Doesn't it look like there's something written there?
Oh. Yeah, it does. I don't see it from this angle.
I'm sorry, I'll have to move your leg a little bit.
It's written in blood. 910 or 91B or 01B or 016 16. Is it supposed to be blood written backwards? I don't know what the clue is. It's written in blood. Must be Tomoya's.
It says
Tomoji's.
016.
016. Or maybe 910. What does that
Hang
mean?
on. I feel like I've seen that somewhere. 016.
Where did we see 016? I don't remember.
016. I know I've seen it somewhere.
Yeah, they're gonna get no
It's
hope
no
from
use.
me.
I can't remember.
We've been seeing numbers all over the place, everywhere. Don't get my hopes up
Anyway,
like
these
that.
numbers have to have something to do with the killer.
There could be something in the pantry in a 016 cubicle, but there could be any other place that has 016 listed also.
She must have written them after she got hit with the Sopora. There would have been a few minutes before she went all the way under when she could have done something. I think she probably used those last minutes to tell the rest of us who'd killed her.
Why not just write the name down instead? Wouldn't that make a lot more sense and be more obvious? At least put the initials down. One initial is all you need. 016, huh? Maybe, but the only people who could have done it are K and Dio. Yeah. I assume it wasn't one of us, assuming it wasn't one of us,
No. There's also Quark. I mean, I'm not saying he did it, just...
Damn it. This is hopeless. I can't keep it up anymore. Everything here is a mystery. Like, what about the old woman we found? Good question. Who killed her? the movement of the AB rooms makes Luna seem most suspicious. But when would she have done it? And we don't have a good explanation as to why she would have wrapped the knife up in a handkerchief. And of course, now Luna's dead too, so who could have killed her? The footage from the security camera paired with Dio's behavior made Clover seem like the most likely suspect, but now we'll never know for sure. Alice's killer is a complete mystery. We don't know what the hell 016 is supposed to mean. Are we at the end of the flow? No, we really aren't. Like, all of those are points probably that we should get flashbacks from other timelines to know the answer. We don't have any idea where Quark's gone. What the hell does any of this mean? Who killed everyone? Was it Zero? Zero Senior? And who is Zero Senior? What the hell does he want? Why does this game even exist? And why did they kidnap us and bring us here? While we're at it, where is this? When is this? Mysteries. 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 I feel like my head's about to explode. Please, Phi. Give me something. Anything. A clue, a hint. Come on, you've got to have something. It went from ... to underlined.
Luminol.
The luminol? Huh?
I think there's a very good chance someone took the spray bottle out of Tenmyoji's pocket.
Okay, but how is that important?
Well, let me ask you this. Why do you think they took it?
Potentially because they want to hide the fact that some of the graffiti was done in paint and some of the graffiti is done in blood. Or they want to hide the fact that there's, for some reason, blood on the bracelet of Zero. So they could test for blood.
What do they need to do in order to do that?
They just need the spray bottle at whatever they want to test. They'd also need to be able to turn off the light, which I don't think you can do in all the rooms.
That's it?
No, wait, you're right. Luminol reacts to organic compounds and glows, but they glow. The glow is really faint, so you need to make it dark. You have to turn off the lights in order to see anything glowing.
That would mean?
That would mean the recording room or the rec room. Oh, no, not the security room, the rec room. Phi and I raced for the door. We weren't sure what we'd find, but we knew where we're going. I had a feeling deep in my gut that whatever we found would be the breakthrough I'd been looking for. It feels like there's a shortage of puzzles, certainly, as we just keep going deeper and deeper in the story. I really wasn't expecting the story to continue this far. And it's really silly that the first choice of every option is going to take you down a path that takes you this far. Lots of transition animations here, when it would have been fairly easy to have not shown a lot of these transition animations, particularly on the PC version. Maybe on the 3DS version you actually needed this much time just to load. There clearly are some puzzles in this room, but I didn't think we were actually going to solve any of them. See, this is typically what I expect to see for a path that is wrapping up, and I'm a little surprised that it's going this quickly, and we're not closer to the end. So K seems to be dead, but frankly that could just be his armor, even though he's covered in blood, and Dio definitely seems to be dead. Again, there is also the possibility that everybody in this death game, short of Sigma, maybe even including Sigma, is a robot anyways. This kind of leaves Quark as the only suspect, but how could Quark possibly swing such big weapons? That's very, very questionable. Everything in my head ground to a halt. Even after all I'd seen, a room full of corpses had a profound effect. It was such a ridiculous thought that before I could stop myself, I laughed. That thought made me think, was laughter in this situation the defense response designed to protect the brain from constant emotional bombardment? They say that right before an animal dies, it feels a moment of comfort. Right before death, the brain releases a huge amount of endorphins into the bloodstream. Pain is only a warning signal meant to keep the body to help the body avoid death, but when death becomes a certainty, pain no longer has any use. In fact, the loss of pain can lead to incredible feats on the edge of danger. Let's say two species of animal. Do we really need this dialogue? Two species of animal come under attack from some overwhelming force. All of them are severely wounded and wounded and near death. Species A feels pain, but species B doesn't. The horrible pain felt by species A prevents them from moving, but because they feel no pain, some of species B will manage to drag their wounded bodies to safety and survive. As a result, species A is eliminated and only species B manages to survive. This process of natural selection has been repeated for thousands, no millions of years. All creatures that walk on the face of Earth are descended from species B. I am no exception. That's why I can look at a room full of corpses and laugh. The genes have been given by a million years of evolution have changed my fear into ecstasy. ... I guess that means you and I are the only survivors.
Don't make me keep saying it. Quark's still out there somewhere.
If Quark is out there, he had to have used the golem to kill these two. Yeah, you're right. He is still out there. The only other thought is that while you were asleep, Phi potentially drugged you and you weren't actually asleep for just a few minutes, or Phi is just so fast that she actually could let you fall asleep and drug you in the security room and then run around and murder everybody else. And frankly, she would have had to found a different time to get away from you to murder Tomoya and Clover. But then she could have run and killed these two, I guess, while you were asleep. So would that mean he killed them? I mean, you said it yourself. There's no way there was a 10th uninvited player out there when Alice was killed. And we've all refuted the possibilities of Zero Senior being the 10th person. There is no 10th person. The only people alive are you, me, and Quark. That means...
Being ridiculous. Look at their bodies. There's an axe buried in Kay's back, and the spear has been thrust all the way through Dio's stomach.
Yeah.
Do you really think a child Quark's size could do that?
Well, depends really if Quark is actually a child or a robot in a child form, or he can't control a golem or a robot in some way to kill for him. Alright then. Are you saying you killed him?
Are you insane? And just when would I have done that? I've been with you this whole time.
She was right. After the end of the second round of the AB Game, Spy and I hadn't been out of each other's sight. We'd gone through the white door, explored the security office, solved puzzles, all of it together. No, wait. There had been one time when I wasn't watching, the few minutes in the security office when I rested on the couch. Could she have snuck out then? The rec room and the security office weren't that far away from one another. Where are they on the map? Let's see. Yeah, particularly know where the rec room or the security office is. It'd be very helpful if this map was labeled. If the round trip took about a minute and she killed them in 4 minutes, then the whole thing would have only taken her 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes, huh? Just how long had I been out? No, that wasn't really right. I hadn't really been out. I just felt like everything was being fast-forwarded. Probably because my mental processing speed had dropped. But how long had I been like that? Might have only felt like a few seconds to me, but it could have been much longer. And where had something like that mental processing speed dropping come from? Maybe Sigma is a robot. Hey, what you doing there, Fi?
Checking their bodies like before. I decided to start with Dio.
Find anything?
Yeah. 2 things, actually. Take
Oh.
a look at this.
The knife. We finally get to see it.
Yeah.
There's something engraved on the blade, too. I imagine the knife, it might very well have a puzzle-solving solution to it and isn't intended to actually be used as a knife. MYRMIDONs. Is that the name of the manufacturer?
Dunno. It's not a name I've ever heard of before.
Yeah. It seems like it's an anagram, if anything, but I don't know what it would be an anagram of.
Look at the handle. You've seen it before, right?
They never zoomed in to show us the handle. This is the knife that was stabbed into Alice's chest.
Right. From the looks of it, I guess the blade is about 15 centimeters long. I'd say it's probably about 3 centimeters tall and 3 millimeters wide.
Here's a localization that probably should have been translated into American. Although, I imagine the Nonary Games probably were translated more for a worldwide Western release and not really targeted for America, and since America is the only people that use inches anyways, so yeah, leaving it as centimeters probably does make more sense, but it also does leave it fairly incomprehensible to people in America that aren't familiar with using centimeters or millimeters. I think I've heard those numbers before.
Like wound cavity, 150 millimeters. Wound length, 30 millimeters. Wound width, 3 millimeters.
Yeah, that's it. When Luna scanned the old woman's body, those were the numbers it gave us for the wound. The exact numbers. But then you see the scan and there's all kinds of other things that are getting pointed out besides just the stab wound that they didn't mention.
Right. Well, wound cavity would be the depth of the wound. Wound length would be how long it is from top to bottom. And wound width would be how wide the flat end of the wound is.
Do they really have to explain this?
In other words,
Is this necessary dialogue? Those numbers describe the size and shape of the wound, right?
right.
Seems redundant. So if they match, that means that this knife was used to kill the old woman.
Well, I was just eyeballing those measurements, so we can't be sure.
I think we can pretty much assume that to be the case. Still, why does Dio have it?
He must have gotten it from Alice.
I know that. What I mean is, why'd he take it? Did he want to destroy the evidence? Maybe it was the one who killed Alice.
That would match up with what we saw.
No, wait. Hold on a second. I'm getting confused here. Alice would have had the knife first, right? She picked it up when she found it wrapped in the handkerchief next to the AB room, one assumes.
Right.
So Dio took it from her and stabbed her? Can't be Dio. there would be no reason for Dio to have not taken the knife back at that point. So there has to be multiple murderers. If that's what happened, why didn't he just take the knife then? Why do you leave it there for us to see, then come back and get it later?
Well, we can look into that more later. First, I want you to have a look at something else.
What?
Don't you remember what I said? I found two things. There was the knife and this.
Ah, the key. Which we've forgotten about from easily 6 hours ago. Was the last time they mentioned, oh, we got this key. Hey, this is that key.
What do you mean, that key?
We found it in the Golem Bay. Didn't have any idea what it was for then, though. He should have. He had already, at that point, seen the back of the head of Kay. But Alice said it might be important, so she'd hang on to it just in case.
So, Alice should have had this, right?
So Dio had taken both of those things off of her. Yeah.
And now Dio's got it.
Yeah.
So when Dio took the knife, he also took Kay's key.
Wait. Kay's key?
Oh man. You couldn't figure it out from the shape?
What do you
Get
mean?
over here. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Let me show you.
So we're gonna finally see who Kay is, if he is a human at all. She walked over to Kay's head, knelt down on one knee, and pointed it to the back of it.
You remember this, right?
Yeah, we saw that. Oh yeah. So that's it. It unlocks the suit, right?
Yeah. Let's give it a shot.
It's not going to be much of a surprise to me, though, if his head just comes off and he turns out to be a robot. It also wouldn't be surprising if it is a human, but it's just nobody they recognize. I also wouldn't be surprised if it's somebody from the first game. Before I had time to prepare myself, I shoved the key into the slot and twisted. But... Arg.
It's no good.
Maybe it only opens if the person's alive.
Get it open.
Why not?
Maybe the suit is powered, and it needs to be on in order to open. But with this axe in here...
You're saying it shorted the suit out or
I
something?
think so. At any rate, the key fits perfectly.
Yep. No revelation there.
I don't have any doubt it's for removing Kay's suit.
Do you think Dio knew that when he took it? I don't know why Dio would keep Kay in his suit, though, if that was the case, instead of just giving him the key and saying, here, take off the suit, and doing that very publicly in front of other people, so that the entire group would insist Kay to take off the suit.
I wonder...
So I guess we'll never know what his face really looks like.
Yeah. No way we can get that mask off with our bare hands.
I wonder who he
Well,
was.
Still haven't checked him over. Let's have a look. Maybe we'll find something that'll tell us who he is.
She'd only been searching for a few seconds before she stopped and pulled something out of Kay's robes.
Look.
What is it?
A spray bottle with luminol in it.
So was Kay the murderer this whole time? That's the one Tomoya had?
Yeah.
Tomoji had. I keep calling them the wrong name. Yeah, sorry. Apologies to all Japanese people everywhere. I probably won't be able to correct it. Then does that mean Kay was the one who handcuffed him to the sink?
Don't know yet.
Why
Kay
not?
might have taken the spray from Tenmyoji after he died. It's possible he made it through the white doors before we did, went to the infirmary and got this. Anyway, there's something I want to see. Turn off the lights.
Okay. Are you gonna check for luminol reaction?
If Kay used the spray before he died, we might still be able to see it.
There's blood everywhere in here, though.
It's okay. If he didn't spray it, there won't be a reaction from any of it. Come on. All right, do it.
So I turn off the lights and then she immediately kills me. Done.
Thanks.
Hmm.
Just as I thought. Look. Dio's left wrist.
The underside of his bracelet is glowing, so there is blood under his bracelet, which potentially means that he was a murderer before the bracelet was put on, I guess? Or painted, killed somebody before the bracelet was put on.
Exactly.
But
Because
why?
there are traces of blood on it.
Whose blood?
We've seen 5 people with serious bleeding. The old woman, Alice, Tenmyoji, and these 2 here. I'm disinclined to think this is Dio or Kay's blood, though. See? If you look, it's been wiped off. Except for the luminol, the bracelet looks clean. Why would someone wipe blood off a bracelet after being hit with an axe or stabbed with a spear, and then spray it with luminol? It doesn't make sense.
Then that leaves the old woman, Alice, and Tomoji.
Right.
Well, not Clover. Do you remember what Tomoji said to us in this room?
Can I see the other side of your bracelets? Please, just do it.
Do you think Tomoji had it figured out that one of the bracelets would have blood on it?
That would have meant he was looking for either Alice's blood or the old woman's.
Or some other blood before the game even started? I wonder which it was.
No idea. But whatever the case, Tenmyoji seemed to think that whoever had this bracelet was Zero Senior.
Just relax, okay? That's all I needed to know. Neither one of you is Zero Senior.
It's funny to have a flashback and still have the main character not voiced.
Are you saying that because there wasn't any reaction from the luminol?
Yeah.
Well, wait. Are you saying that Dio is Zero
I
Senior?
don't know. The only thing I can say for sure is that there's a possibility that Dio killed the other 6 victims.
It does seem likely. It could be also that there are multiple zeros, like in the first game, or no zeros. Then who killed Dio?
Okay, perhaps? After he was attacked, he used the last of his strength.
It's a possibility, I suppose. Another descendant of species B. Huh? Nothing. Forget about it. I suppose that seems somewhat plausible. Anyway, if Zero Senior was Dio, then
All of this would be over.
one would assume.
This awful game would be over.
An Ambidex gate has been opened.
So obviously it's not over. Obviously. So it basically has to have been Quark now, because or somebody faked their death. Like, or there was a 10th person. Like, it doesn't even make sense for Quark to open an Ambidex gate other than to potentially kill the remaining people, which he should know is just Sigma and Phi, because if both of them abstain, then they'd be killed also.
45 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
But 45 minutes is plenty of time for them to get back to the AB rooms. What? What the heck? That's impossible. Quark? Quark opened the gate? Why would he?
Whatever. We need to get back to the Floor A warehouse.
If he's not Zero.
Hurry!
I know, I'm coming. So yeah, we just rush more. See, yeah, if you eliminate this elevator animation and you had just gone from the map and flashed to from that floor B map to black to showing this ding sound, and then from the ding sound, had you just shown floor A map again without showing this part, it would have been perfectly fine and just more optimized. And it really goes to show how they just feel this absolute need to justify having animated the doors opening and closing, which frankly that should have probably been lower prioritized and not animated. You could have used the budget elsewhere. Like, I imagine a game like this would almost certainly have the same level of writing no matter what. So it is just the delicate game of deciding what do you want to animate, what audio do you want to use, and just maybe what puzzles you're going to put in it. Damn it. There's no one here. Did they run off?
Why would they run away?
Hell if I know. How the hell did Quark open the AB gate anyways? Without a star key, he shouldn't have been able to get it open.
Must have taken one from Do or K before we got to the rec room.
And I feel like Quark could be in any of those rooms. But then there's one door that's open. So did he open one door and then open another door, go in one room and let it close, and then leave the other one open as possibly a trap of some sort?
We know they went through a white door. Remember? We saw the footage in the security office.
Yeah, and I guess they would have had to have escaped that white door puzzle room, and there's no reason for them to not have a star key at that point.
That means they had a star key just like we did.
We assume that the escape room had star keys in the safe and not just perhaps a key to escape. But you didn't find one when you searched them.
Right.
Well, maybe Quark's a suspect after all then. You shouldn't write him off just because he's a kid. Maybe he knows how to use the lance. Use a lance or an axe.
That's impossible. You're being an idiot. It's much more likely he found the key card after they died.
Oh, Alright, let's go find him.
Any ideas where to look?
Nothing. How on earth would I know where he might be? Seems like Quark, if he's still alive, is an expert at hiding and going through either secret passages or just avoiding being detected.
Well, there's one place I'd like to check out. Come on.
Why are we on the flow on this? We still haven't gotten any further. Sometimes it seems like it takes forever to move one block down, and sometimes it seems like it takes forever to move one block down. I guess we could check out the other white doors. This is the room D and K investigated.
Right. Aren't you curious?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what's behind that door and the other door. Of course, besides Quark might be there.
Yeah.
Why would Quark be there, though? Like, why would he open an AB room and then run away and then come back? Or maybe he's not going to come back. Maybe it doesn't matter to him since he doesn't have a bracelet on. He just opened the door to kill Sigma and Phi. Which, at a certain point, wouldn't it make sense for Sigma and Phi to go in the door and just vote? The door says director's office.
Probably belongs to the director.
The director of this warehouse that we have no idea what it really is. Or the director of this whole game. Hope it has one of those chairs. You know, folding ones that say director on the back of them. Always wanted to sit in one and say stuff like action and cut and double decaf chai soy latte now.
And that's what you think we'll find in there?
Yeah. Aren't you excited?
Well, there could be anything in there. So, no, not really.
Yeah, what if Zero Senior was in there waiting for us?
That would make things easy. We'd settle things right now and then get the hell out.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna open it.
You need to keep asking me if...
I feel like him saying I'm gonna open it is an easy thing for to eliminate from the dialogue in all future timelines. And you could probably eliminate a lot of things from dialogue in general. Okay. There's a computer, there's stuff here. Does any of that really jump out as being important information? Is that a giant vault? Huh?
There's no one here.
Is there even a second exit? Computer's been turned
Yeah,
on.
Maybe Dio and Kay did that.
Here you have a lion eating a sun, a two-headed lion eating a sun. What the hell is this?
A lion.
It's biting.
Sun?
It has a couple of input fields for user ID and password.
We can't use it unless we know what those are.
Why don't you put something
Sure,
in?
I'll give it a shot.
Admin.
Yeah, just as I thought.
What was that ID? KSDE4IUSD. And then a 9-character password. Like, that feels like that's a hint, but I have no idea what that would mean.
Might as well forget about this thing for now. We can't get anywhere without a password. Let's see if we can find any other clues. This is the director's office after all. If we turn the place upside down, we're bound to find something. Shall we?
Why are we doing an escape room, basically, instead of either looking for cork or voting? Before I turned and headed off towards the bookshelf, leaving me alone next to the desk, I felt compelled to stay and found myself staring at the screen. A lion biting the sun. Lion biting the sun. A lion biting the sun. Yeah. Remember Memento Mori if the ninth lion ate the sun. Which, how does that turn into a username and password? Do you type in Memento and then Mori? Remember death if the ninth lion ate the sun. Could this be the ninth lion? Then maybe. Memento Mori on her. Memento Mori, remember death on her. Remember death on her. Remember death on Dio. Well, wait a minute. That's like a depiction of Dio, but he's not stabbed through, so... Is this a different way Dio died? In a different timeline? It looks like he's been poisoned. And... then there's K. Remember death. Remember. We're getting all these flashback images. But what's that supposed to reveal? I'm not following. See, in the first game too, there was definitely a there definitely was a situation there where you were asked a password that you just absolutely would not know, and I feel like this is what we're doing. Memento. And then Mori. Error. Not failed. Just error. Remember death. Error. See, unless it wanted us to type in like the exact score of everybody's BP, I have a real hard chance believing that. Like, we could go to numbers here and start typing in numbers for sure. But yeah, I just don't think there's an answer here. And that they're intentionally just letting us fail. It was no good. I didn't know anything. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd seen the ID and password somewhere before. I mean, we saw Harold as an ID. But had we? I don't think we had. And see, I feel like that is finally going to be it. Yeah. To be continued. And I would say this is probably the worst part of the Zero Escape games for sure, is when they do something like this and just say, actually, no, you couldn't have solved it. You don't have the clues in this first playthrough. Alright, so how long has the game been running? 33 minutes. And we save. And that got me that far, and apparently that's as far as we can go. And no further. So after that point, there's another split and then a decision. The most recursive part of this would be to go to AB game round 2 and jump. And we'll try it. Just like no end at all. And it's going to ask us to make a decision. And in this case, we'll just decide to betray. Now, what am I going to do? I guess there really isn't any question. After all, I promised Luna that I'd pick ally. But what if she was lying to me?
I would have chosen ally regardless. I mean, Sigma's going to be my opponent. And I trust him.
10 seconds remain until...
See, betraying, in this case, is a bitter pill to swallow, certainly, but it's not really going to change anything in the timeline. So much happens after this point, where we start seeing everybody dead, and we know that the good ending is not likely to be an ending where we see everybody dead. Betray. But we very well will have to get to the end of the bad of that ending that we had just done to figure out who the killer is, to get more information, to get a good ending.
Results will be displayed in the warehouse.
And see, we're only going to see maybe a couple sentences of difference.
Thank you for your participation.
Well, maybe a couple sentences of the same, and then we'll start splitting into perhaps completely different dialogue, perhaps not. We'll have to see. I wouldn't be surprised if Luna just straight up tries to murder me and succeeds.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed.
And now that we've gotten to one ending, although not really gotten to one ending, I think it's probably time to start pressing A and skipping some of this dialogue as fast as possible.
To the results screen.
So Luna still voted, and let's see, Tomoji betrayed Clover as before. Fi and Dio allied because Dio was eliminated from being able to vote with Kay, and thus I was alone since Alice was dead, and I chose to betray Luna, and that's obvious. Now I'm at 8, and there literally is no other group, so the only way we're going to get to the point where any character other than Quark probably gets to 9 is if I betray a lot earlier, and I'm not sure even at that really works. So Fi at the very beginning of the game in the first AB vote did say betray.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet.
Let's just try to skip through a lot of this. A lot of this could also be very redundant.
Why? You promised. How could you? Why won't you say something?
So I've made myself the bad guy.
At least give me an excuse. Say you wanted to protect everybody, or you slipped and hit the wrong button. Anything. I don't care if it's a lie. Just say something. I can't trust you anymore. Can I?
He's just not going to respond.
All right then. You did it so that you could get more points, right?
I wanted to say no, but I couldn't. See, and this is a case where the game has no idea why the player would have chosen betray, so they're not going to stick words in his mouth. She was right. I shut my eyes and turned away.
I trusted you. Goodbye.
Luna's face twisted as she spun away, but not before I saw tears glistening in the corners of her eyes. My heart sank into my stomach like a lump of lead. I'd lost something very precious. Like they say, trust takes years to build, but only seconds to break. If only I could have taken that second back. But that was impossible. Life only moves in one direction, and you only got to make your choice once. The past is the past. It stays there. Except for when you're playing a game like this. And see, at this point,
Where do you think you're going?
I'm just going to put this in auto and just let this play.
Hey, wait!
And we'll see what the timing feels like when they start talking. Clover yelled at him, but Tomoya ignored her and continued toward the magenta door. It seems to be fairly long pauses. She glared at his receding back and muttered something under her breath. Something must have happened between them. That does seem like there's different dialogue than before.
You're going to go look for Quark, right?
Yeah. So?
I want to help.
No thanks.
Really?
So,
Much as I'd like to say that, I need all the help I can get. Think you can give me a
seems like Luna is now going to be with Tomoji.
Let's go.
Now. So I may have created new pairings and couples, which might mean that people get murdered in different orders. Clover is left standing by herself, brows furrowed and her head deep down in deep thought. Really long pauses when they do pauses. Then suddenly she stood up straight and took off through the cyan door. It still feels very much like Clover would have just assumed that it was Luna, though. I turned and saw only Fi and Kay were left. Where's Dio?
Went off toward the yellow door while you and Luna were talking.
Were we talking? Oh yeah, for a second.
He did check the results before he left.
I bet he wasn't very happy. If I had chosen Betray, he'd be sitting pretty with 9 VP right now.
I imagine he would. Fortunately, Fi is much too clever for that. That was why I chose Ally. It was an easy decision.
But if you'd betrayed her, then you've been able to get out of here. It's hard, certainly, to rewind your mind and
I made a promise to follow.
and know that you're in a different timeline and remember what was different, what happened in the previous timeline versus what is shared between these two timelines.
I don't really have a choice, though.
Basically, it's just all the murders and everything that happened
Yeah. Don't
after
That's important. Trusting someone, I mean.
after Luna's murder. Is,
All right. We should go and look for Quark too.
Indeed. Best we split up.
or more accurately, I suppose, whatever happened after the second AB game, but that's harder to remember, the order. We did say, and each of us went to left for a different area of the facility. I took the magenta door, I went through the yellow door, and Kay took the cyan door. You seem to have no choice there. It probably doesn't matter. See, was there 016 in the pantry? I'm not seeing that. Was there 016 in the Golem Bay? Gallium Bay? Or Golem Bay? But no matter how hard I looked, Quark was nowhere to be found. Eventually I decided to head back to the warehouse. Timoji, interesting. Let's go ahead and go back. You found Quark. So, why did my betray change the timeline so much? Like, why did that send Quark back into the story when he's completely missing? It means Luna did something there to find him. But yeah, we probably are on the verge of ending this storyline. I bet this one just goes down here and stops. And because if it just continues to go straight down, we're gonna have to think that maybe the entire story goes that way, and all the plots just continue, if at random, almost randomly.
Wouldn't be here if I hadn't.
Wouldn't be if I hadn't. Does he have the bracelet on him? Where was he?
I tell you that.
Why does it matter to tell us where he was? What? Did I do something wrong?
Broke your promise to Luna.
Wow. Okay, that's true.
I don't like people who break promises.
Fair enough. There's no rebuttal for that. Well, I'm glad you found him.
Oh, you got some balls saying that. Acting like you give a shit about him.
Is he okay? He looks tired.
Seems somebody shot him up with some kind of anesthetic.
Interesting. So, somebody shot him up with anesthetic. Is he wearing the bracelet? Someone who?
Hell if I know. And honestly, I don't really care anymore.
Why not?
Quark's safe. Now, all I have to do is get him out of here. This will all be over.
Wait. You make it sound like you can get out right now.
I can. Well, he can. Did
How?
you see the results? Quark's BP is
9.
exactly.
So you're gonna have him pull the lever and open the number 9 door?
Of course, he's gonna need my help to do that.
But what about you? You've only got 4 BP. Even if you can get the door open, you'll...
Maybe some of you are thinking. You're thinking, oh ho. It might be
It's been a long time since we've seen Zero Jr.
open the door. And I'll just slip through when it's open. What? That's not gonna happen.
So, doesn't that rule mean that you can't use other people's bracelets?
Think you can be sneaky? Well,
Think I don't know that? Doesn't matter though. So long as Quark is safe. And
My guard was down. I barely even saw him move, and I wasn't until the pain exploded in my stomach that I realized Tomoji had kicked me. Or grr. And Fi's not even gonna probably be involved. It seems like nobody's gonna be involved in this ending. I let a strange sort of wheeze and collapsed to the floor, blinking against the pain. I managed to find Tomoji again. I maneuvered Cork up to the number 9 door. Grr. Stop. Tomoji. Moving made me retch. And before I could recover and call out again, he'd done it. Tomoji's hand pressed Quark's against the lever. He looked back at me over his shoulder. So I guess these scanners don't scan like the first game, which that was kind of nice animation. It's a waste of them for them to not have used that again in the second game. But it also did potentially save on some repeated pointless time wasting.
Door's almost open, so it's time I was on my way.
So these scanners it's just whoever has that bracelet and has their hand on the handle opens the door. Tomoji, don't be an idiot. If you go through there, you'll...
Believe me, I know. I gotta stay with him as long as I can. Couldn't live with myself if I just tossed him out there unconscious, you know?
Then stay here.
Can't do that.
Why not?
Killer here. It's too dangerous. I can't take that risk with Quark's life.
Now in the first game, when they went through the 9 door, there was just like another 9 door behind it. And so it was kind of a trick.
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
See ya.
Tomoji, wait. Don't do this. Tomoji. Tomoji. And they never really found anything that they could stick in between the number 9 door to force it to stay open. Sounds like an elevator, frankly.
The number 9 door has closed.
Like, you could probably have taken all those safes from the different areas and stuck them under the number 9 door, and that might have kept it open.
This ends the Nonary Game. Thank you for your participation.
See, and that's the kind of short and sweet ending I thought I was going to get by just the first playthrough.
Other than the number 9 door have been unlocked.
Okay.
Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
That was how it ended. Had Tomoji died, had Quark escaped, I don't know. I laid my hands gently against my aching stomach and stared up at the ceiling. Faint, approaching footsteps echoed through the warehouse. One of them was the killer. Whatever. It didn't matter anymore. I was never gonna see the outside world again. Perhaps it would be better if I just let them kill me. I lay back and closed my eyes. Funny that they just end the story there, because there is an opportunity to just see who the killer was. And that's a game over, not a to be continued. So we'll go ahead and oversave that. And seemingly, it seems like game overs in this case don't count at all. Interesting. So that means for the like six different endings that we see, more than likely there are 9 endings. So half of these endings are just going to be bad endings. We now need to rewind back all the way to AB game round 1, and that's going to drastically change the story. I swallowed. Alice and I will See, and this is weird because I picked the first option now. Let's pick the second option, but I have no idea what the third option really would even do. Like, one of these clearly doesn't work. Go through Alice. K. The blue door.
Right.
We should hurry.
And so now we've rewound the story back to Alice still being alive. Which I took off to the door to run. I glanced back over my shoulder to see the others heading for their respective doors. By Dio and Clover headed for the green door, while Tomoji carried Cork towards the red door. Cork wasn't even missing at this point, and maybe he won't be missing in this branch. Followed by Luna.
2, 1, 0.
We're hearing the bells jingle on K.
Chromatic doors closing.
So this will probably put us in a different puzzle escape room. So at least we'll be back to some gameplay. But probably not as much as we think. Here we have a bee garden on one side and a rec room on one side. So it almost feels like this split on the map. Can we even see the map of 4B for a second? Where are we? It might be that regardless of what choice I had made, whether it was the second or third choice, this split takes us to the same place. Wait, 3 doors.
Yes, they are all locked.
Is this the dead end?
Or it could be simply when my hand touches the handle, that opens one door, but somebody else's hand potentially touching the handle might open a different door, and we may not really know what the reasoning behind that is ever.
It looks like the thing next to the number 9 door.
Does that lever move?
It could be, it almost certainly would be affected by the number of BP that a player has. So if we had different BP, that might turn into the reason why the paths change. Only one way to find out. That opens the rec room, not the bee garden,
Well, that was easy enough.
which we haven't seen anything about a bee garden. It only opened the door on the right, though.
Then we are likely meant to go there.
Or it could be that these 3 doors are the one-way doors that we saw earlier. And so it actually doesn't mean anything. But then why would there be a label on the door? Yeah, Alice, your cleavage has been missed, I suppose. How do we get the other doors open?
No idea. There do not seem to be any other mechanisms which might cause them to unlock.
I don't think that's really something we should be worrying about right now. We have a door that's open, we should go through it.
You are correct. There is little to be achieved by remaining here.
Forward it is then. Or right, I guess. Yeah, it feels like for the 3D modeling too, you would kind of wanted to potentially have the have a costume or some kind of extra thing unlocked, even soundtracks or just credits or anything. And we definitely didn't get any of that. They just want you to jump back into the game and keep playing, which for a game that is so this long, for a visual novel in general, you've probably got to try your very best to make a player just keep on playing, because if they lose any momentum whatsoever, they are probably going to get bored and wander away. So it's, what is this place?
The rec room, apparently. Oh, you didn't see it. There was a plate on the door.
Kind of like a hologram plate.
It said rec room, as I recall.
Short for recreation, one might assume. How ironic.
The first game kind of felt like people could have magically been in the past. The second game feels like people might be magically in the future.
I doubt recreation is foremost on any of our minds right now.
Okay, the pool and darts I get, but what's with all the suits of armor? Well, now that I see this, it does feel like perhaps these suits of armor can be automated, so maybe Quark managed to kill people by having the suits of armor throw their spears and swing their axes. Seems kind of weird.
If you think the armor's weird, check that thing out.
Is that a ride?
It looks just like the bunny, the rabbit.
Yeah, I see them in front of grocery stores all the time. You put a coin in and it kind of rocks around. You must have gone on one at least once when you were a kid.
Yeah, we really haven't addressed any of Kay's memory loss at all in the
I
story.
have no memory of doing so, but it is possible.
Does this thing mean there were kids here at some point?
No, I don't think so. I guess it's part of someone's collection.
It seems like an exceedingly odd thing to collect.
So this place has a lounge, some sleeping quarters, and now this rec room. It's like some kind of luxury cruise liner.
Now that you mention it, it does give the impression that people are supposed to stay here for an extended period of time.
Yeah, that does feel true.
In a small but well-stocked infirmary, anyone here would be able to treat at least minor injuries and illnesses.
So you think this room is to help people keep from going out of their minds with boredom?
Yes, relaxation is important in an isolated environment.
Everything anybody needs to live without leaving. I guess they're planning to keep us here for a while, huh? Well, that's not happening.
I agree. Let's just find those moon card things and get out of here.
So we're still looking for moon cards.
There's a door over there.
We're still at the point where they're trying to force the door. No good, won't open. Looks like it's locked up tight.
In other words, the moon cards must be in this room somewhere.
Right, then let's find them. One thing I'll say about the characters in this game versus the first game is there are seemingly less people that just immediately kind of hate each other or just are completely and have animosity towards each other, where it felt like the belly dancer in the first game and Santa in the first game kind of just never got along, and Santa often was at odds with a lot of characters. And while we do have Dio that's filling that role somewhat, he's nowhere as annoying so far. Although, in all fairness, we also haven't paired with Dio, so it may very well become a case that once we finally get forced into pairing with him, we will run into more frustration on that route. So there's considerably less to fast forward through here. So if I were to play this now, then almost certainly the next recording would not start with any action and any escape room at all. So I think it feels only fair to try to end these recordings at that split. When we rewind back to this point, we'll get a fairly straightforward part, which I feel like each of these are probably going to end up in, if I was to guess, this is probably a dead end. This is probably a key that unlocks the password later, and this is probably a dead end, and this is probably a key. Then I wouldn't be surprised if both of these are dead ends, and this is a dead end, and this is a key. And so that would be 3. And then I wouldn't be surprised one bit if dead end here, key here, dead end here, key here did in there, which that probably doesn't fully line up to give you 9 keys, but it might be good enough. Or maybe one of these 2 paths as a key, and maybe one of these 2 paths as a key also. But yeah, it doesn't really seem like it would make any sense to rewind back to this point and try this again. And pretty much by the time we do have a code, I feel like we probably could rewind back to this point and just type in the code. Although that might not work. We may very well have to rewind the game all the way back to the beginning, because we'll start to realize, oh, to get the right move, we're going to have to figure out which doors we took. And see, on this path it was green, on this path it was blue. So I'm very confused as to what happens had we picked red. Because that feels like that would have taken us in a different path. But maybe it would have just changed this color to red, and maybe then we would have to just fast forward all the way to this region. Alright, well, we're potentially stopping a little bit early for 3-hour episodes, but that's about it. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.